This is video 11 over MSTC 101, and for this week we're talking about aesthetics. So really, like what came to my mind about aesthetics is how, for say a visual aspect, you have a story, you have a script. How do you want to bring that to life? What angles do you want to use? What lightings do you want to use to really tell the story and emphasize a certain message in, say, a movie itself? And instantly, something that came to my mind was Christopher Nolan and his aesthetic, because when watching his Batman movies, he really created like a story. He really created like an arc with Batman itself. So if I were to go to one of his shots, right like this one right here. So this was a scene where there was like a whole wreckness and like whole wrecking aspect happened with Joker and Batman. But just seeing like this stance, like in the darkness, Batman, there's fire, he's over all this wreckage. Just an aesthetically pleasing type of image, something that's like people really look at this and like, wow, that like, it looks cool, you know? And it just like brings out aura with Batman itself. Like all of this was in a script, and just showing the aesthetics portion of it, like different angles. He instead of a front angle, he wanted to do a side angle. Just him looking over all the wreckage, head down, the dark lighting to really emphasize the flames, stuff like that. Like you don't think about that while you're watching the movie, but like through talking with this week, with aesthetics in general, like how can we expect a different kind of like lighting? How can that play with the aesthetics? And we see the same thing, say here, this lighting itself. This is very like dark lighting. It's Batman. This is like we're in a dull stage where something happened that was bad, and it's a more darker and dull lighting, because that's like the mood and story they're trying to tell. So I believe aesthetics are so important. This is one of my favorite scenes right here. And due to a bomb, and then this is general. So stuff like that is like really aesthetically pleasing because of the angles they use. He uses like the football player as the main character in this scene, and just him looking back at everyone. The whole stadium to look back at, and you see all of this as he scored a touchdown. Stuff like that is just so aesthetically pleasing. It's so like something that goes so far that like people really know, because once you look back on it, you know that all this was in a script. But then like you think about the real aesthetics of it, the angles, how do you want to approach this scene, to create a perfect aesthetic that you want with the director and the movie itself. Something that's really impressive, and something that I knew I wanted to talk about as soon as we learned about it in class, because I believe it's a perfect example. And yeah, I had a great time learning about it in class, and that's my video. Thank you.